Alright boys, ZYG Trades back here with another video. And today we have a very important video for a lot of the beginners in the meme coin space. And today we're going to be going over how to spot a rug pull. So if you're new to the space, you might not know what a rug pull is. And basically a rug pull is a scam token where devs of a coin try and trap traders by basically making a scam coin and just selling on your head. So as time has gone on, rug pulls have only gotten more and more complicated to spot. And today I'm going to be going over the 3 most common rug pulls and how to avoid them to the best of your ability so that you're a successful trader. So without further ado, let's get into the first obvious rug pull. So the first obvious rug pull is called a bundle. So basically what a bundle is, basically when a dev is bundling a coin, they buy a coin and they just send it to a bunch of different wallets so that people don't see that one holder is holding too much supply of a certain coin. So I'll just pull up an example to show you guys real quick. So let's just go to this coin for example. Alright, so if we go to, so one way to check how bundled the coin is by going to holders, and you might see this little bubble map icon. And for those of you who don't know, I am using Axiom. I'll put the link in the down below in the description for anyone that wants to use this website. But this definitely is the most efficient website to use, and it has a lot of cool tools to help you optimize your trading because it could clearly show you guys how bundled the coin is. So as you guys see here, this coin is 76% bundled, and you would never want to buy a coin over like 20% bundled. And if you just look at the bubble maps, this is such a red flag because it literally shows that one person is holding 76% of the coin on like 50 different wallets. But this is just the biggest red flag coin ever because look at how much the bubbles overlap over each other. That just shows that one person's holding all the supply. And if you compare this to a coin with good bubble maps, I'll pull it up real quick. It would be a lot cleaner, and the bubble distribution would be a lot more cleaner. So just for the sake of this, I'll pull up XBT. And as you could see, there's no like big time bubbles overlapping. It's just a bunch of small bubbles. But these people seem to like be holding too much of an amount. Like this guy's holding 1% over here, and like literally he's holding like 1%. All these people are holding about 2%. However, in the last chart, as you guys saw, this guy was holding literally 76% of the supply. And the reason why that's problematic is if the coin is at 77K market cap and the guy sells 76% of the supply, then the coin is literally just going to go straight to zero and you're automatically going to lose all your money right away. So that's very problematic, and that's definitely a big thing that you want to avoid because if you're trading on a small portfolio and you're starting with only like $20 to $30, if you buy into a rug pull, you could just lose all your money instantly in a single minute. Like, it's that easy to lose money in this space, but there's a lot of potential in this space too if you trade the right way. And by trading the right way is you have to assess all the coins that you buy into before actually buying them. And you have to look at the bundle percentage right before that, because if you don't, then it could just lead to you getting absolutely dumped on. And it's not only devs that do this too, it's also other traders who try and just maximize their profits. Like, let's say there's a new coin that comes out. If they think it's a good narrative, they might just, because some people have a tool that allows them to just buy on a bunch of different wallets at one time, and because of that, they might just bundle a new coin, and it might just lead to you getting rugged. I don't see too many, like this coin right here. This coin isn't that bundled, but it also just came out, so it's problematic. It's at 8.6K market cap. Oh shoot, never mind. The bundle just sold. That's why that big dip was there. But let me see if I could find a good example of a coin that's really bundled. That's early. Let me reset my filters real quick, so I could show you guys a better example. But hold on. All of these coins are rugs, by the way. Like if you see a coin all the way like at this high of a market cap this early, like 99.9% of the time it's just a rug. So let me just filter some of those coins out, and I'll show you guys an example of an early rug that's not like by the dev, it's just by like other people. All right, so this coin, it's like at 17K market cap, and the bundle percentage, it's not that bad, honestly. It's 16%. But the reason why this is very problematic is because if you go to the holder count, you could see literally the number one holder, the number two holder, and the number three holder are all bundlers, meaning that there's a possibility that these three people are the same people. So if they're holding 16%, let's see, 4.5%, 4% of the supply, 3% of the supply, that's around like 12%. If they just sell at one time, you're literally just cooked, straight up cooked. And that's why spotting bundles, it's also important to look at the holders, because as you can see here, the bubble maps didn't fully refresh. But if you go to the holders, you could see the number 1, 2, 3 holders are all bundlers. And you could see by this icon, which is why Axiom is so important. Like I said before, I'm going to have a link in the description to Axiom, because this definitely is the best platform to optimize your meme coin trading. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but this is what I personally use on a day-to-day basis, and it's helped me become profitable. So we've went over bundlers. Then the next thing I think that we should go over is top 10 holders. And top 10 holders is a very big thing to go over. And me personally, I don't buy into anything that has over like 25 to 30% top 10 holders. And any coin where the top holder is holding over 3.5%, I try and stay away from, and I only buy into those coins if the narrative is really good and there's a lot of buy pressure on that coin. Or else I try and stay away from coins where the top holder is holding 3%. So as you could see over here on Axiom, it shows that the top holder is holding 42.6%, which is the top 10 holders is holding 42.6%, which is absolutely ridiculous, because in a coin with 31 holders, 10 of them should not be holding 42% of the supply. Like, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And if you go to the holders right over here, for those of you that don't know, a lot of the times the number one holder is just a liquidity pool, and it should just say that on Axiom. But the number one actual holder that's a trader is holding 7% of the supply, which is a huge amount. Because if they were to just sell this token, it would go automatically very close to zero, and it would absolutely just cook this token. And because of that, there would be a lot of sell pressure on this coin, and most likely it would just dump out. Unless the coin has a very strong community or a narrative, then 99% of the time those coins are just going to dump out, where someone's holding over 3.5%, because if they just clip it in one candle, it's automatically just going to go straight red all the way to the bottom. So you would definitely, before buying into a coin, I personally always look at the holder count, and if the top holder is holding more than 3.5%, 3 to 3.5%, I just don't buy into the coin. Or just in general, if the top 10 holders are holding over 25 to 30%, it's best to stay away from that coin. And another thing that you should look at when you're looking at the holders is if there's a lot of these holders that just show green candles, those are the best coins to stay away from, because these are fresh wallets, and these are probably all these fresh wallets most likely have a connection to the same person. So if you see 4 fresh wallets in a row, and as you can see here, the dev has a fresh wallet too, perfect. So that would most likely mean that this wallet belongs to the dev, this wallet belongs to the dev, this wallet belongs to the dev, and this wallet belongs to the dev. So let's say the dev is holding all 4 of those wallets. That means he's holding around 15%. So at any time, if the dev sells on all 4 of his wallet, this project is literally just going to dust. And you're basically just going to lose all your money, because the dev is literally holding 15% all by himself. So even though it says the dev is only holding 3% over here, that's why it's important to look at the holders, because you should be able to spot if the dev is holding more on a side wallet or something. And as you could see here, on all of his side wallets, they were created around the same time, 14 hours ago, 13 hours ago. This was 2 hours ago, so this might not be the dev. But this was also 14 hours ago. So these 3 wallets, they're likely linked together. And the dev could honestly just sell this coin at any time that he wants, and it would just be a rug. Another thing that you could look at on Axiom is if the Twitter was reused. And because basically over here you could see that if the Twitter has similar projects, the same name, let's say he made a typo on the first time that he was trying to launch, and he just fixed the typo, then it's mostly fine. But if you see like a bunch of different narratives over here, like then it's likely also a rug. Like let's say the first one is Bet Big Casino, which is the name of this coin, but then the second one was like Rismus, then like the third one was like Biddy, and the fourth one was like Astra or something, then it would likely be a rug because the dev is just trying to farm new projects just to try and trap people in, and that's like a very helpful tool on Axiom. So we went over bundlers, and I just went over to why it's important to look at the holders. Now the last and the most common rug nowadays involves you looking at the fees. So this is a way to spot 99% of rugs nowadays, and that's just by looking at the fees. Because if you look at the fees, then it'll just like most of the time, it'll also like cause for you to know if a coin is like bundled or if it's just a really bad coin to buy into. All right, so let's just get into it. So for a coin on the migrated section, usually they would be at around 100K-ish market cap, approximately, depending on the migration market cap. And because of that, coins on the migration market cap, they would usually have around 10 Solana in fees paid. And if you guys are familiar with the blockchain, every single time you buy something, you would pay a certain fee, and that would just go to the creator of the coin. And Axiom actually tracks that by having something called the global fees paid. So let me just find a good example. This coin called Real Coin. It's at 142K market cap, and it's at 24. It has 24 SOL in fees paid, and it's been out for 30 minutes, and it has not rugged yet. So this is likely a real coin because, as you could see here, there's 24 SOL in fees. Yeah, and that lines up perfectly because there's only 5% in bundles. All this stuff is in the green. The logistics of this coin line up, and the fees are great, which might mean that if the narrative is good, this might be a good buy. I haven't looked at this narrative personally, but that coin is definitely a real coin. But however, if you look at a lot of these other coins, they might be at higher market caps. Like this coin, for example, 1 million market cap, around that. But if you look at the fees, it's literally less than 0.1 fees paid, which just shows that this is automatically a scam, and this is this type of coin that you would just automatically want to stay away from. And if you scroll down to the logistics of the token, this lines up too, because as you could see, there's 80% bundlers. But the reason why it's important to look at the fees itself is because if you filter out bundlers, the fees it still might show that the token is 0% bundled, but if you look at the fees, that's an automatic indication on how to tell if a coin is bundled or not. So after this, I'll be going over like how to filter out a coin, and that's definitely very helpful when avoiding rugs. Obviously, if you filter out a coin, that doesn't just mean that you buy every single coin that pops up on the filter, but it does help narrow your search out because as you could see in this left column, like there's so many coins coming out every single minute, and honestly probably over 90% of these coins are just obvious rugs. As you could see here, like 74% top 10 holding, like 7% sniper, 15% bundlers, 20% top 10 holders in like 23 seconds. This actually might not be a rug, but a lot of these coins that come out every single second, they just end up being rugs. So filters do help out. And if you're going to buy into any token, you should just make sure that they're not a rug, because if you just buy into rugs over and over again, that's how you become unprofitable and just lose all your money when it comes to meme coins. And nobody wants to lose their money. It's just not worth it. At that point, it's basically just gambling. But it's even worse than gambling because if you just buy into rugs over and over again, there's literally a 0% chance that you win. So like we went over in this video, the three most obvious rugs are bundle rugs. We went over like if the top 10 holding is holding too much, those types of rugs, and why it's important to look at fees. And before I close out this video, I'll just be going over a way that you could avoid these rugs better to the best of your ability using Axiom, and that's by filtering these out. So if you go over here and press this little icon over here, you could just set whatever filters that you want to sort out these rugs to the best of your ability. So let's say you only want to see coins with the top 20% holder. This is just an example, by the way. These aren't the filters I actually use. 3% dev holding, 10% snipers, insiders, 10%, bundle, 20%, And for the metrics, all right, we could just leave it at that. Then if you guys could see a lot more of these coins, they look a lot greener. Like, yeah, this one might be like 23%, but that's just, it just automatically goes away when a coin like doesn't meet the requirements that your filter set up. And as you guys could see here now, with just those filters alone, a lot more coins have stopped coming out because most of the coins that come out, they just match those filters and they're just obvious rugs. So as you could see here now, it's a lot greener in the logistical category, and it makes it a lot easier for you to spot tokens. And if you guys do want my exact filters, you guys can just come over to my Discord server, and if you guys want, I literally have a section with the filters that I use, and all you have to do is literally just copy them, go into Axiom, press import, and literally just copy and paste it. And the filters are imported just like that, and you would get the exact filters that I use personally. I might not use like the most like advanced filters in the game because I have been trenching for a while and I have been in the meme coin space. So if I see like red flags in a coin, I would just not buy them. But if you're newer to the space, then it might be worth it to make your own filters to help you guys spot out obvious rugs. But that's exactly why Axiom is the most important platform, because it gives you a lot of helpful tools that help you like spot out these obvious rugs. Just even with like these little icons and with these filters, like it definitely helps out a lot, especially if you're a beginner. So if you guys want to use Axiom, I'll be putting the link to their website down below. I'll also be putting the link to my free Discord if you want access to my filters, and I also have like I have a lot of other tools that'll help you on Axiom. And let me know if there's any other video you guys want to see like next, like maybe like what I look for in like a certain coin, or just running through like Axiom and all the tools that they have on this site, or some stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys learned a little something about how to spot some obvious rugs. So without further ado, ZYG Trades out.